And welcome back to part 19 of What If Jiraiya Adopted Naruto. Last time on the Naruto What If Jiraiya Adopted Naruto, they had just defeated Dedera and Sasori. Now, Dedera, if I remember correctly, I never actually specified if he died or if he got away. I don't believe so. So for the sake of still some consistency within the story, he managed to get out of there. He managed to escape, though he's still missing an arm, unfortunately. And and then the Toby comes and picks it up. So we cut over to the Leaf Village. There's the information about the Orochimaru thing and what's going to go on with that. Now I don't see Team 7 honestly being a part of this. Kakashi is still fine. He can still function. I think really it's got to be. I mean, they're the ones with the information, absolutely. So at least one of them has to do that. I think it will be the Kakashi, but I think Kakashi, Yamato, and maybe a couple other Jonin are going to be the ones that go instead, because while Naruto's power is undisputed, they just don't want him out. They basically want him out as the elders anyway. Want him out of the village as less as possible. Sasuke obviously is the one that Orochimaru is targeting, so he wouldn't go, and really there's no reason to dredge Sakura up into that, just because if the rest of her team's not going, there's no definitive purpose for her to be going as well, apart from maybe being a medic ninja on the team. And that's about it. So you then have... Oh, excuse me, what's that? Hang on there. There we go. So you then instead have Yamamoto, it's not Yamamoto, but it's Yamato, Kakashi, let's say two no-names who are probably going to die, go out and try to get Kabuto. Now, the plan goes about the same as it does initially, except because Kakashi's there, and Kakashi's skills, specifically the fact he has a Mangekyo now, definitely, excuse me. I've started. Sorry, you'll notice I'm a little. I've started working out. I get a solid workout at work, but because there's a lot of lifting and walking and everything involved. But I've started actually working out again at the house with my girlfriend, and trust me, I'm either really out of shape or it's been a while since I really put some effort into working out, because my abs are really sore. My abs borderline hurt. Anyway, I digress. So, Orochimaru, Tenzo, or Yamato as he goes, the no-names and Kakashi kind of square off. So Kakashi, you've arrived. So I'm so envy your good fortune. I wish you would have brought dear Sasuke along. It would have been so nice to see him. Wouldn't you agree, Kabuto? Yes, Orochimaru. It would be nice to see Sasuke and Naruto again. Yes, the Kyuubi brat. How's Jiraiya's little protege doing? He's just getting all sinister. I would very much like to have another round with him. It's like, and Kakashi's like, you will not have your way with them. I'm also not 100% sure if you're talking about, killing them, fighting them, or having sex with them. Quite frankly, go either way. Oh, you're such a wise cracker, Kakashi. And then, he just spits out a snake at him, and Kakashi just kills it. And it's 4-on-2. The no-names go pretty quick. Tenzo tries to... his name is Tenzo. Tenzo tries to... you take on Tenzo obviously feels like he has a better chance with Kabuto than he does with Orochimaru. So he uses the tree. He uses his wood style, tries to Kabuto, but Kabuto can just chop through that. So he chops through that. So there's a little bit of that going back and forth. Kakashi immediately has his Sharingan activated, and he's wary of Orochimaru, but they're going toe to toe for a little while. Kashi by the end was very powerful. I think he could at least fight on a relative even playing field with Orochimaru. Long-term Orochimaru was still more powerful. However, he still had enough skill. Plus, he has the Mangekyo with him as well. So, he then activates the Mangekyo once, and this does take Orochimaru by surprise because he didn't expect Kakashi to have something like that. So he's and once again Kakashi hits the arm. He's huffing a little bit, but he's still good. Just, and Orochimaru though just climbs out of his mouth saying, "Oh my, who knew you would achieve not only the Mangekyo, but the Sharingan, but the Mangekyo Sharingan. Oh, how I would be overjoyed to have such a gift. You really are a lucky dog, Kakashi." Yeah, I don't know if I'm the lucky dog. And all of a sudden, his hounds show up, and Orochimaru's like, It's like, or they're the lucky dogs. And Orochimaru just, uses his blade, just swats him away. Paku's able to get away because he's Paku. But Kakashi comes, the lightning hound jutsu, which I always thought was a great jutsu, and attacks Orochimaru. So there's a lot of back and forth. Long story short, Orochimaru does escape. He does escape. Kabuto, I think, also escapes, but they get roughed up a bit. They certainly do. Also, they do not have Sasuke there for Orochimaru to take his body. And then they go through the whole process of the fight between them. So they have to go with another option. And they don't have. I mean, as far as I can tell, they probably had other candidates available just in case. Especially in this case where they did not have Sasuke available to train for 3 years. But, I mean, you also have, Sugetsu there, so he could take Sugetsu's body. I don't think in this version he would. I've occasionally had a version where he does, but I think in this he just takes another no-name body, and, they go from there. Meanwhile, they get back to the village. Azuma is still unfortunately killed by Hidan, and basically what happens is Shikamaru, Team 10 go off, and again, Kakashi joins them because they need a Jonin leader, and I do think Orochimaru and Yamato come on. Basically, Team 7 comes in as a backup against it because Kakuzu particularly, Hidan was just annoying. Kakuzu was a problem. Like, he was a legitimate opponent, whereas Hidan was just like, okay, just don't get cut his head off, you're good. He really was that easy to beat, honestly. When you break it down, he really was easy to beat. Whereas Kakuzu, you need a Rasen Shuriken to take his ass out. So, again, a lot of that goes about the same before, Naruto and the others show up. I do think there's a little bit of delay on that, but they do show up eventually. And so they'll show up. Hidan again gets beaten by Kakashi or by Shikamaru. Naruto just goes into stage mode, activates Rasen Shuriken, and just blitzes. Basically, him and Sasuke actually even combined, probably fire style and wind style, create a scorching Rasen Shuriken, super sun with Rasen Shuriken blades on it. So ultimately, they take out Kakuzu, pretty much incinerating with that attack. And then we go into the Itachi arc. Now, the Itachi arc, again, Sasuke is Sasuke. He's improved. He's not as single-minded. He's not dating anyone, though. So unlike in another one I had, I'm not going to say which one, but another one I had him involved in a relationship with someone other than Sakura. So he eventually, I do think, though, the scenario would be the same, that eventually Itachi sends basically a message to Sasuke saying, I'll be here. Come and get me. And Sasuke, Naruto's the one person he really considers a friend. So I think he is the person he tells him. It's like, it's Naruto, I know I can't go out on my own. That it's technically leaving the village, betraying the village. I know I cause a lot of problems, but this is something I have to do. And Naruto's like, looks at him, just dead straight, just, I can't let you do that. I'll tell you what. I can't let you do that, Sasuke. I was like, I know. And then Naruto just looks him over. I'll give you a 2-hour head start. Oh, it's like, where is this place? Like, it's this far away. It's like, give me an hour head start. I'll just leave the note here and I'll pretend I found it. And Sasuke just, it's like, dweeb. It's like, bastard. So, yeah, or what, a loser as it was. Loser. A bastard. And they just kind of give it that smile and just quick handshake. And Sasuke leads on his own court to fight Itachi. And eventually Naruto does an hour later get and tell everyone, I found this note, Sasuke's gone, So they go out to rescue Sasuke. Now, the fight between Itachi and Sasuke, it's a bit more on Itachi's favor, but ultimately I think it goes roughly the same. Only because while he doesn't have Kirin in this version, I think through some means he would have developed at this point some other secondary option. Maybe not lightning, but like a fire, or like a supreme fire Uchiha fire style. Like he scorches the earth and then basically, because honestly the Amaterasu is fire. So why you're not able to? I mean, it's special fire. That's why its actual manipulation is its own thing. But it's called Blaze Release. So Sasuke basically creates a. And the surprise, what surprises Itachi is it basically because again the whole fight's gonna be the same until we get that whole Amaterasu fight with the and using the stones to kind of snuff it out. But he basically just creates the dragon style, which would be the dragon symbol, and dragon and tiger I think are like the two big fire style ones, or horse as well. But and then all of a sudden all the Amaterasu flames are starting to like just recede. They're getting smaller, and Itachi's saying, "What's going on?" The Amaterasu, and basically he just got a hand sign going and he explains that the Amaterasu, one of the most dangerous ninjutsu alive, and the fire so hot it burns other flames and it will not extinguish. A flame I can't manipulate, but I can draw from its powers, brother. And basically what he's doing is he's absorbing all the fire chakra that is being used for Amaterasu and basically dwindling the flame to create his own to use for his own technique. Some things like I picked up this a little trick I picked up from Naruto. I can't use Sage Mode. I can't use natural chakra per se, but I can sense elemental chakra. I can use the elemental chakra around me as long as it's an element I'm particularly skilled in. And fire's our bread and butter, brother. That was wow. Say that sentence 3 times fast. Bread and butter, wow. I can't even say it the one time fast. Bread and butter, brother. And fire's our family's forte, brother. That's a better way to put it. So he just absorbed all that. All of a sudden, just fire style, supreme fire dragon jutsu, and then just this giant winged drake just pops out, just goes straight towards him. Or better yet, a different technique would be Rising Phoenix Jutsu! And a giant firebird just comes in. And Sasuke is kind of like what Kirin is, kind of holding the bird aloft with his hands, controlling the bird. Just, I've always liked this motion. Just, and then just scream! The firebird just comes down, just boom. But then the Susanoo comes in. The big key difference here is that Naruto can easily find out where Sasuke is. He's got his Sage Mode going on. He senses Obito showing up, so he sends a couple clones. He hides a couple of clones around, sends them off, and basically, more or less, the Sasuke fight goes about the same. Sasuke is ultimately fine, and because he didn't have to use the curse skill, he's actually still he's tired, but he's not on the verge of passing out. He's huffing just. I got Naruto. I got to get to the guys, and then he buggers off. And meanwhile, they're dealing with Toby and Kasame. Well, Sasuke's team had to deal with Kasame, but in this case, they don't have to do that. Kasame and all that. And the Toby says, "Oh, Itachi's dead. Oh, Sasuke managed to kill him." It's like, "Oh, no, that's exactly as I expected. I'll have fun rewatching that." So basically, now we cut back to Jiraiya. Now, we cut over to Jiraiya versus Pain. Now, what's the different? Now, what goes on here that's different than the original? Well, first off, he does not need the elders, and bugs are starting to come into the house, unfortunately, because I got the door open. Did I get it? Fuck, I did. Anyway, I digress. So he has perfect Sage Mode first and foremost, and he has some elemental Rasengans. So that's going to be a big difference here. He can already use the elemental Rasengans, which already puts some of the Pains at a disadvantage. I imagine he would even take out the which ones? It was the Animal Path he was up against. It was the Preta Path, and he didn't use the Deva Path because at the time, and he didn't use the path that could be resurrected essentially at the time either, and. Yeah, or that could resurrect people. Did he use the one that could, or was it the robot? I don't think it was the robot either. Interesting. I can't remember exactly. But the point is, he actually takes out that one. Prepath is difficult because he can't, he absorbs chakra. So that's when he basically decides it's time to go into Sage mode. But instead of excelling Ma and Pa, he just, takes him away, gets, it's Gamma Yakin. I'm ungraceful. Um, excuse me. So he charges up and he goes into Sage mode. And his Sage mode is more powerful. It's just pure Sage mode at this point. He doesn't need Ma or Pa to maintain it. He even keeps he even hides a clone or two somewhere just so he can immediately go back into it. Trick Naruto easily would have taught him. So he has a much easier time dealing with these guys than originally before. And he takes out the Predapath. I have no doubt about that. Because he sees he absorbs chakra, so Taijutsu is the only thing that works. And if he tries to absorb chakra from the Sage mode, which I imagine he would try to do, he just turns to stone, and he immediately just gains the chakra back, thanks to a clone. So he actually doesn't need the Ma and Pa's Genjutsu at that point. And then the other pains show up. So it's Jiraiya in perfect Sage mode. He's fine still. He didn't lose an arm. Versus all the pains. So, unfortunately, Naruto had other techniques available. I do still think he takes out the Predapath, unfortunately. Just because he knows that one's going to be a difficult one to get through. But he summons a couple of the toads. He summons Gamabunta. And Jiraiya, what am I doing here? And they just shut up, old toad. This is no time to be. What did you say to me? He's got the Rinnegan, old man. And then that's it. The Rinnegan. I thought that was only a legend. Oh, so it's true. The Sage of Six Paths does live again. You know what this may mean, Jiraiya. Yeah, I do, old man. But right now we got more important things to deal with, like taking out a former student of mine. Like a student. Wait, Jiraiya, this is that boy? Oh, I see. And then the animals come. Give me some cover, Buddha. Buddha. You got it. Boom! A flame toad bullet or toad flame bullet. And then Jiraiya because Jiraiya's now fought the other three initially. He knows how to deal with them. It's the other three he's got a problem with. And he still manages to take out the ones he took out initially. And unfortunately, unlike with Naruto, he doesn't have the ability to spam the clones or anything like that, which will allow him to bypass the Shinra Tensei. So unfortunately, Jiraiya probably does still fall in this. The real one isn't there. The question is, could I have him live? Jiraiya, get out of here, Bunta! Go! And then the few remaining paths come in and they spear him, and then he just he sends a message through Bunta, who sends it through another toad. And then he just falls and he's like, ugh. And so that ends the tale of the Gallant Jiraiya. A noble, not the best ending, not even the greatest, but a noble one at that. And it just drips into the ocean, or the lake anyway. That was, by the way, as much as it sucked to see Jiraiya die, man, that's one of those things like, because Jiraiya was always a fan there. You want to talk about a guy who went out like a badass? Jiraiya went out like a badass, and he was just like the thorough guy just had died with a smile on his face. Like, yep, pretty damn good death indeed, and then just died. It's like, damn, you were a badass, Jiraiya. So I mean, word travels back, and when it hits Naruto, it hits him harder than it did. It clear because this isn't just a pervy sage that kind of was like a uncle to him. This was his dad. He lost one father that he never got a chance to know, and the dad he's known all his life is now gone, and he's inconsolable for a while. And Ino's there, and she's comforting him, and she just holds him there. They talk, and he shares some stories, and she remembers some of the stories, and she remembers seeing Jiraiya a couple times. They have a nice remembrance of Jiraiya. And it's just heartbreaking, and it's sad, and it really sucks. And Sasuke's there, and he remembers losing his family, and seeing it, and he knows how much that hurts. And even Sasuke is there to comfort him a little bit, and give him his condolences. It's like and he doesn't say, and it'd be Sasuke. It would in the Sasuke, it's like he probably goes like Naruto. It's like, what do you want, Sasuke? He's like, he just puts his hand on his shoulder, like, And then Naruto, because Naruto knows Sasuke knows how this feels. This is something that he does know, and Sasuke can relate to on Naruto's part. Just, they give each other a look and just yeah, it's like you'll be all right, man. You'll be all right. And Sakura's just staring. She's even she's crying for Naruto on his behalf. Just she feels his heartbreak and just. And Sasuke honestly just looks at Sakura and just asks sees Sakura and sees that over the years she's improved and they've gotten good friends. And he asks her the question. Look, I mean, Naruto's gonna want to be alone. I'm sure Ino will be with him, but they're gonna want to be alone for a while. Want to go get something to eat? And Sakura's just a little spritzy. It's like, yeah, okay. It's like, all right, yeah. So, yeah, I'll give Sakura the win on that one. She'll get Sasuke in the end. I digress. So after Naruto, finally calms down, he goes back to the Toad Mountain to practice working with Sage Mode and Fox Chakra Mode. And that's going to be the big training he does there, because really it was Sage training and perfecting the Rasen Shuriken he was doing initially. He's already got those down. So when Pain comes, he makes quick freaking work of most of Pain's bodies. The big thing is that I do think Naruto will pick up. I think Naruto will get there earlier before Pain even uses the Shinra Tensei. Oh no, I think he gets there just in time. What happens? And then he senses all his friends out there. I think you'd get a couple cool fights, like Zabuza fighting the Predapath would actually be pretty cool. Hell, Zabuza getting married to Kiba's mom. Let's just say that happened. I'm just throwing stuff out there now. And frankly, that would probably be a pretty solid match personality-wise. I know a lot of fan fictions like to pair him up with Anko, and that would be a pretty decent matchup, too, from what we know about her. But I think that Kiba's mom would be a lot funner. And having him go up against the Predapath would be pretty cool, because he can easily fight without using chakra. So he just has a blade that will reform by absorbing the iron from your blood. That's a pretty badass blade. And he's skilled as hell with it, and I think he could easily just take it. Say, oh, come on, babe, I was supposed to be fine. Yeah, you snooze, you lose, honey. It's like, you bastard, you're gonna pay for that double tonight. Oh, don't threaten me with a good time. I have to pay for it triple. It's like, oh, you're trying to dare me. Meanwhile, Kiba's there. It's like, I don't need to hear about my mom and stepdad doing it. It's like, come on, Brad. I'm trying to remember if I can get Zabuza's voice down. Come on. Oh, come on, Brad. You're 16. You're a man now. I'm sure you got your eyes on a fine girl. Somewhere. Like, I'm sure Haku might have even taken out a couple of the extra pains. So because Haku and Zabuza are there, they would be actually, I think, adding a lot more to the assault front. They'd be taking out maybe a couple of the Pain's extra bodies. Naruto would get up, and Naruto would just see bloody murder with Pain, and he'd immediately be in Sage Mode, but then immediately go into Kyuubi Sage Mode, which at this point, I'm gonna just say it, Naruto has access to the full power of the Nine-Tailed Fox. It's been a while, but I think he's done it, and he basically combines them together, and he just blitzes through all the Pains, including the David Path, because he can't use the Shinra Tensei. Just and then Naruto just then Nagato for all the way. He took them all down. What do you mean he took them? He took them all down, Koan. All of them. What? We need to get out of here. And Naruto's just like, so that's where you are. And he just gets out of it. It's like, well, I'm sorry. You need to get out of where? And then Naruto's just there, standing, and Kyuubi Sage Mode just. And then Naga's like, I see, but with this close to me, you will not be able to resist. And it just hits him with a rod, thinking he'll be able to control. He's like, yeah, no, boom. Oh dear. But then they have I'm sure they have the conversation about Jiraya. He wasn't just my sensei. He was my sensei, like he was yours. He wasn't just my sensei. He was my dad. He was my dad. And to which Naga was actually surprised, like, Jiraya adopted. He wouldn't adopt us. He didn't feel sense. What made you different? What made you so special? And then he just said, he felt he owed it to my dad. His dad was a student. My father was his student. He felt he owed it. And he took me in when no one else would. So when I got stuck with this burden, when I got stuck with the Kurama, when I didn't have a choice in the matter, he took me in. And he may have had his quirks, he may have had his problems, but he was a damn good dad. You took him away, and they see. I think the conversation still goes to the whole resurrecting everyone he killed part. It's just a matter of how he gets there. I think Naruto just, was overwhelmed by anger, but after training, because he's been in sage mode for so long, he knows how to meditate and think on things. He did let his anger subside on some level. He was still ripshit with pain, so he just ended all the pain bodies there. But ultimately, yes, I do think he convinces Nagato to resurrect everyone, and he does that. So we're gonna end off with the remains of Akatsuki, be it Kasame, Toby, Obito, Dedara, and I think Orochimaru would join back up into the fray. I do think he would. And Zetsu. Just because now there's no Itachi there. The organization is not the same as it used to be, so he's very interested in. I'm interested in seeing what your organization has to offer now these days. Madara, or would you prefer? And then he just whispers a name in his ears, like, how do you know that name? And they just kind of, it's like, oh, I have my ways. So that's where we're going to leave it off there. This is the part that's always the hardest part, is trying to really create a solid story at this point. So much happens that has to be predicated on what happened prior that it just gets wacky. But until then, that's where we're leaving off part 19. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below, let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I use Road Win, Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything to do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.